What's going on, everyone? What's going on, guys, gals, aliens, and degens? Welcome back to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. All right, so we're getting a little bit of volatility today. We got a lot to cover. We have the FOMC meeting that is happening today. We have a 99% chance that Jerome Powell is not going to be cutting rates because of the nature of the volatility in the Middle East. We have Trump posting a lot right now. He's posting a lot of truths. He's posting a lot of tweets and posts on x.com. And he and a lot of other people are basically signaling that we are going to be stepping into this war. So, and there's a lot of backlash on this. There's split views on this, if we should be doing this, if we should not, or is this something, this isn't what we voted for. This is, one of the promises that was made by Trump was that we were not going to be getting into wars. We wanted to stop the wars. So there's something's going on. You know, there's always this thing about the Middle East. And you remember during the Bush administration that the reasons why we went into Iraq was weapons of mass destruction. It's always weapons of mass destruction. And I'm starting to think that's the same playbook as what they did in the early 2000s, starting with Desert Storm and then eventually going into the Iraq War. And it just smells very fishy. And so I don't know what the United States wants with the Middle East and what's there and why there's always this high activity, but it's just very strange. And so this is all happening right now in real time. The expansion of, I guess, what would be the American empire. And so I was looking at Alex Jones' post that he posted earlier today. And I don't know why my keys are not working. Do I have like numlock on or something? What's going on here? My scene button's not working. Let's get into, there we go. All right, so let me make sure everyone's in here. All right, let's go. We got 10 people. Want to make sure you guys are doing the housekeeping. So the housekeeping rules is that when you come in, you just got to hit the like button. And if you're on a particular platform, if you're on your phone or on your computer and you're able to repost this live stream link out to your socials, that would help out tremendously as well. So I really appreciate it, guys. We're going to get into it and we're going to cover some posts. We're going to cover some things that we think is very important to highlight. And we just hope you guys are having a good day. We're going to do a nice short and sweet stream for about 40 minutes. I think anything past an hour, you just kind of lose people. And I mean, what else more besides just kind of running your mouth and looking at the charts and pulling up, drawing a bunch of lines on the charts that you could keep people's attention. But we're just going to dial it in. We're going to dial it in today and just make sure you guys are smashing up that like button. And so we're going to cover a couple things. We're going to cover how Ethereum is the thing to watch for the rest of this year. Obviously, Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin over the next few years, over the next 10 years, is going to be something that is still going to become a stronger store of value and potentially increase its throughput of transactions through the Lightning Network or Taproot or whatever it may be, and Stake and Shake and businesses that are, jumping on this train are kind of the first movers into this market of Bitcoin transactions, businesses doing the POS style onboarding, but then businesses like GameStop that recently announced that they're going to be acquiring Bitcoin. They did acquire Bitcoin. Companies have already established their own Bitcoin treasuries and reserves, and Solana is also becoming one of those coins that people are setting up treasuries. So crypto in general for the next however long is going to be here and here to stay, but some things are going to fall to the wayside. What's going to be around? And I think the answer is that the things that are going public, the chains that are involved in setting up and doing mergers with companies that are already on the stock market, which is happening with Tron. And then you have all the companies that are involved with the Trump administration or the Trump family, whether it be a Trump Media or the World Liberty Financial and all these different funds that or actual companies that have a stock on the stock exchange already. These are going to be the things that we need to pay attention to. And then what chains are getting closer and closer to bridging the gap between the TradFi and DeFi and just Web3, whatever you want to call it, but just everything kind of going on chain. What are going to be the first movers in the chains that are picked and used for doing real world assets, for minting stable coins? Because that's kind of the thing that's happening right now. We're getting massive stable coins being minted. If we go to our bookmarks section, we had a couple things about the stable coins. Yeah, Marty Party was saying, stable coin mint just 5 hours ago on Tether. They minted $1 billion of stables of Tether on Ethereum. So Ethereum, I think, is still going to be the number one top chain to be minting stables. And then you go down the list, it could be, if you go to DeFi Llama, this is an easy way that you can look at it because it's, Polygon's one of them, Arbitrum's one of them. Solana has now become the third largest stablecoin TVL out of all the chains. And then Tron is still, I think, second. Binance Smart Chain's up there. So top 5, it's Binance Smart Chain, Tron, Solana, Ethereum. So these could just be the coins that we would need to have exposure into, because once the stable coins get minted, then that's the value is going into the chain. So it's just like I feel like that will eventually pump the actual price of the native coin, of the actual coin. So whether it be ETH, AVAX. So you just want to be investing in these coins early, loading up and knowing that that's kind of the play. That's like the play towards the long game, towards the end of the year when the money printer starts to come in and they're minting all these stables. It's gonna flood in. So for macro, amazing. Now, short-term price action right now, you can't ignore the fact that we could potentially still from here go down 30% on Bitcoin. With all of this tensions of the war and for people's ability to make money on the downside, and also we have everything lined up for the Feds to not cut rates yet because of the nature of the volatility. Jerome Powell has already signaled that the reason why they haven't cut rates is because of the tariff economic uncertainty and also the ability for businesses to plan for the future, and all of the different reasons that Jerome is signaled, but still kind of being neutral, kind of like a little hawkish, but still not really being dovish at all. So by him signaling still that he is hawkish today, not cutting rates, and then maybe extending it because of the nature of the aggression of the threats going into war with Iran, I don't know. So this is going to be really interesting to see what happens. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. So we had the Genius Act summarized here. So the Genius Act did pass, and we've been waiting for this. It's kind of like a historic bill. It's like one of the first major historic bills for the crypto industry in terms of the stable coins. So the stable coins are what is going to be the catalyst and gateway to massive mainstream adoption and worldwide adoption of the blockchain and crypto. Most people won't understand it, and they won't get it, and they'll just be be not forced. It's not like, it's interesting because if you think about the psychology, it's not like we're not forced to use the dollar. It's just what has been established as a collective hive mind that we're going to use the dollar. We could, as a collective, establish that we want it to be Bitcoin, but it's not going to happen in enough people to really actually truly create it as then, because then that would have to be like more than half of the population of the world. So there's this interesting thing that people in the retail are just they're gonna just use crypto and they're not even gonna realize it because it's just gonna be like a switch over. It's going to look almost probably like seamless in a way, so then they don't have to like do a seed phrase or a wallet or whatever. Or I feel like that's how it's going to be. I could be wrong, but it'll eventually just kind of, it'll just meld over. It's just like how cash, for a long time, it was just cash. You're used to using cash. Then everything went into a card, everything went onto a debit card, and then everything was digital cash represented on screens. And then you never did a checkbook or check and balances or writing down anything anymore because now it's all, so it's just, it all eventually starts to evolve into the next thing. So this is the next technological evolution of finance, is where we're at right now. What's your goal? Be in these coins early on, buy low and sell high. And it doesn't even have to be the best tech. It doesn't have to be the best whatever. It actually just needs to be where the money flows and where the liquidity is and where, and see who's buying what. The institutions have been scooping this damn ETH up like crazy. And ETH seems like it's wanting to target 10K. Bitcoin has had a major run, and it still probably will still, I think, have a decent run towards the end of this year. But Ethereum actually might surprise us all. So Shibman asks, so rate cuts today? No rate cuts unless there's just some wicked surprise and there's just so much pressure and they fake everyone out. Lasers said, I was listening in my pocket. I don't want to accidentally ban anyone. You're fine. You're all good. And let's see who else. Emmanuel said, what happens if all the major institutions and banks come up with their own stable coin? Will XRP still have any use? Well, let's look at the provisions of the Genius Act. Okay, so let's see. Who can issue stablecoins? Okay, permitted payment stablecoin issuer is issuer, depositor, or its subsidiary, federal qualified issuer, or a state qualified issuer. Ability to meet reserve requirements. So you have to be able to meet all of the reserve requirements for no previous felony offenses, competence, experience, or integrity. Qualification. Interesting. So the reserves have to be 1-for-1 backing and Federal Reserve balances, cash, demand deposits, Treasury instruments. Rehypothecation is generally banned. Redemption or disclosure. Clear procedures for timely redemption if you want to be able to... issuers must publish a monthly audited reserve report. Can't market stablecoins as legal tender or FDIC insured. Oh, that's interesting. So not FDIC insured. Preemption, federal licensing supersedes state requirements. So even though there could be state requirements, the federal licensing is the ultimate final say. It says states can license issuers if they have substantial similarity to federal requirements and, let's see, more than 10 billion outstanding. Damn. State licensed issuers have nationwide passporting, can operate in other states. Reserves private keys must be held by an FDIC bank, an OCC chartered trust bank, or other federal supervised custodian. Issuers and custodians must be able to freeze tokens on lawful order. So Treasury may block non-compliant foreign stablecoins. And this is interesting because we found out with the hack on SUI that they were actually able to freeze the deposits, and then people were starting to ask questions. They was like, wait, well then this isn't very decentralized, is it? Because then they can just freeze anyone's stablecoin if they want to on that network. And then it starts to raise questions. Maybe that's why you end up holding Bitcoin, because they can't freeze your Bitcoin if you have it right? They can't freeze your Monero. Maybe that's why Bitcoin and Monero and some of these, legacy coins end up being so valuable in the futures, because there is going to be massive, probably, I feel like, some surveillance on transactions and not very much privacy. And then there could be a potential where people are just going to still get debanked and frozen in a way if you start getting too loud. You starting to get too much money. They don't like what you're saying, and then they freeze your stable coins. They could do that with the PayPal stablecoin. They could do it probably with any of these state-issued stablecoins. And whichever ones is going to be like the de facto ones they're going to be taking, which is probably going to be USDC, USDT. You can see the success of the Circle, IPO. Crazy. It's up to 174. That means, like, from the opening price, whenever it went public, it launched at $76. This thing just made 140%, 129% gain for Circle. Yeah, so the stable coins are the gateway. The stable coins are definitely the gateway for institutional adoption. And also mainstream not even realizing that they're going to start using stable coins. Now for people wanting to actually like invest, they're going to go to the meme coins, I think, first. Because no one knows what the heck Avalanche is. No one knows what Cardano is. They barely know what Ethereum is, but they are going to know what the latest meme is and what Pepe or Wojak or you name it. They're going to recognize those. They're going to recognize SHIB from last cycle. They'll recognize Doge. XRP was bidding to buy Circle, but they were like, we're not for sale. That whole rumor, or I guess it wasn't a rumor. They were actually bidding to buy it, but then they were just like, no, we're not for sale. You guys remember, you're our competition. Yes, there is an XRPL stablecoin on the XRP ledger. We can maybe see what the market cap is right now compared to the other stablecoins. So we have the XRP, XRPL. What's the market cap on that? Is it in here? It should be in here. So in terms of stable coins, in the top 50 in terms of market cap, we have DAI, number 25. We have the USDE, the Athena stablecoin. We have USDC. We have Tether. So we still want to point out this damn pattern on Pepe. If you guys remember, we were pointing out this bearish pattern, and man, it really played out perfectly, but we did not trade on it. We did not trade on it, but we just wanted to point out the fact that, man, next time you see that pattern, there's a high chance that it'll break down and you can maybe take advantage of it. But I'm very curious to see how the markets are going to react with Jerome Powell's comments, what they're going to do with what they're going to do with the rates. It's 99% chance that they're just keeping the rates the same, that they're not going to do anything. And it's more priced in, or not priced in, that we're going to be getting a cut in September, because then that's letting a lot of the blowover of the summer just kind of cool off. Let whatever's going to happen in the tensions go down, and then the Feds will cut September, October, December, and then we get the true altcoin season and rally actually Q2 and Q3 of next year, which means, and that's great. That actually I'm cool with, because then that still gives us a lot more time to be able to position ourselves if we want, because you're not going to be able to catch the exact bottom. Like if you're trying to invest or you're not going to catch the exact bottom, but even if you get halfway through some of these runs that we could be coming into in the first quarters of next year, that's still a great return, and you're still have skin in the game, and you can still have an opportunity to take some profits and hopefully just get, maybe you did get the bottom, but I think this is great. I would be fine with them, stretching that sucker out and just, the markets wants to chop sideways or still give us good entries. And then by March and April of next year is when we could see the real moves, like the true blast off. We could also be totally wrong, and then they cut right here, September. We go through October, we get to the end of the year, and we could be at a 10K ETH and $200,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. That also could be a factor, and that we'll still try and take advantage of it. So let's see. Gold is kind of trading a little sideways. Gold is trading sideways. You see it peaked up at $3,400, and now it went back down in the range. It's kind of a head and shoulders pattern. It's just trading sideways. Gold's trading sideways. Silver also pumped, did a nice little pump up to 37. Then it went down, did this Bart Simpson pattern, as you can see here. And speaking of Bart Simpson pattern, Carl from the Moon, shout out to Carl from the Moon. Where is that post? There it is. So you can see the Bart Simpson pattern. He was warning about a week ago. He said it might play out if Ethereum breaks below the $2,400 level. And so we'll have to see. Let's check ETH. Let's look at ETH and see if that could be the case. We've seen those Bart Simpson patterns play out, and it'll do some damage. Yeah, so it kind of did this. So yeah, it actually kind of did that, and now it went up, chopped, tested that range at the bottom where the liquidity was sitting, did get a nice bounce, tested up to those resistance levels. We have some volume. So it's looking like we just want to we're gonna test. We're testing the blast through that 382 to get to the $2,500 resistance levels right up here. Next level would be 2556. And then you got the 786 up here, which is the highest point of the resistance of this breakdown on ETH. For ETH to be eyeing that top resistance, 2600. We could see a quick test with whatever happens with the Fed today. We could see a quick move to the downside, hit some support, and then continue, because the buying pressure has been pretty good when we start to hit the lows, especially on Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin still, that's what keeps me neutral. I'm not like super bearish. every time we hit those lows, you know, the buying pressure comes in and it gets scooped up. If we look at the Bollinger Bands on the 4-hour, it's starting to squeeze a little bit. It's getting tight because it was doing this sideways trade action. It's starting to pinch a little bit. It did right there, which gave us a nice little move to the upside, but that was our false move Monday. Got us excited, you know, got us excited up here, and then they brought it right back down into this high liquidity range. So if it completes the same pattern, it would do something like this. It's looking like a W to test up to that previous resistance right here. We hit that range, and then we could maybe trade sideways a little bit, go to the upside. And the fib extensions are respecting this pretty dead on. That this could be the play. Test up to the 618. See if it gets a rejection, which is high likely. Trades back down. Then tries to test up into 108, which where we just were. We were just there. But we got to the tensions are high right now. Tensions are super high with this conflict. Anything's on the table right now. But we appreciate you guys coming in today. We appreciate all you guys coming in. We got 17 people on the live. If you guys don't, you got to hit the like button. You got to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button when you come in here. And we're also streaming on almost every single damn platform. We are streaming on TikTok. Let's see. Your live is not eligible for recommendation, is restricted in search results because it contains unoriginal or reproduced content. What? What happened? This is in line with the for you feed eligibility standards under our community. What? Use content? That's so crazy. So they just stopped the live stream? Or is it still going? I don't know. I'm testing out this TikTok live. They have this whole new TikTok live studio. I'll show you guys real quick. You should be able to see this. If I bring this over here, yeah, you can see it. So this is the TikTok live studio, and you can see how it formats it. Like you can do like a split screen. I'm using OBS virtual camera to capture what I have going on with my green screen, and then it still has to have a camera source. So you have to have some type of camera source if you're doing a green screen. So then I just have my webcam on the side, just on the top there. But it seems to work pretty well, but we're testing it out. But apparently, I guess they have some strict guidelines, which I've heard a lot of people get banned or strikes on TikTok for whatever it may be, you know, certain content, like it just said, like I was using, I guess, content that they were not liking. So they're like, we're taking you out of the search, bro. But we're happy you guys are here. Just make sure all of you are hitting the like button. We got 21 people in here. Thank you for coming in. We're streaming to x.com. We're streaming to Rumble. We're streaming to Twitch. And we're streaming to YouTube. We are streaming all across the interwebs. And we just want to remind you guys, shout out to the partners of the channel, PHEMEX, OURBIT, and Apex Omni, which is the decentralized exchange DEX trading that you can do with your wallet, and it's powered by Bybit. So it's kind of like, this is like being able to be early days of Bybit. All the people that were in Bybit early are doing very well because Bybit took care of them. And so I think Apex could, you know, have a very similar story. So it's got good volume, good liquidity, and I've been testing out the platform, and it works very well. And it's got I'm sure, all your favorite coins. Same with OURBIT. OURBIT's got a great DEX on-chain spot trading for memes, and it's very functional. We love it. We love also just, you know, putting in trades on here for futures and just buying spot. They have a lot of cool things. Reward opportunities with Super Cup going on for the FIFA. You can bet on who's going to win, open up super boxes and things like that. And then PHEMEX has a special Dano Dojo crew bonus where if you deposit $100, you get $20 bonus. And then $500, you get $120 bonus. So this is just by depositing. So if you just deposit, you immediately get a reward. So also, if you are putting in trades, so if you're putting in futures trades, you'll get an extra $30. So you can really stack up the rewards on PHEMEX, and it's whitelisted. So you'll be able to sign up with my link no matter what, wherever you are, does not matter. You will be able to use this platform on your phone and also on the web browser. And they have a lot of Web3 decentralized options as well. I've noticed a big theme. All the exchanges are giving people opportunities to see what's like trending on Pump Fund or what's trending on chain on Solana, Binance, or Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, and they're having these decentralized web trading, Web3 trading, DEX trading just directly on the platform. So big theme. Get used to using those and test them out and see which one you like the best. You might like PHEMEX more. You might like our OURBIT more. You might like Apex. You might like them all. So check them out. And if you use my link, you get all of those juicy rewards. And it also helps directly support the channel. So, and I'm curious, what are you guys trading right now? What are you interested in? What are you interested in? What are you trading? What are the memes? What are the chains that you're paying attention to? That is maybe an altcoin that's getting a lot of traction for stablecoin minting. Like we're really trying to pay attention to right now. Let's go here real quick, and I want to pull up DeFi Llama because this is also a great website for you guys if you've never been on it. Any new people that have not gone on DeFi Llama, this is a way that you can see just the top chains, how many protocols they have, how many active addresses they have that are operating inside of these metrics of the protocols, the percentage day change of total value locked, and also the 7-day, 1-month change. They also have the DeFi TVL that you can see that is locked, also the bridged TVL, and also the stablecoin balance, and also the 24-hour DEX volume, which is important to note. And you can see who kind of has the top 24-hour DEX volume, which you can see Ethereum is still the top, and then Solana, I mean, crushing right under it. And then you can see that Bitcoin has 2.3 million. So it's got 2.3 million. So, but we'll see Binance Smart Chain and Tron. Binance Smart Chain having 11 billion. Whoa. So actually, that's not There we go. Binance Smart Chain. Now it's. I was like, that's not filtered right. Okay, Binance Smart Chain. We got 11 billion. Ethereum 2 billion. Solana 2.5. So this is 24-hour DEX volume. Arbitrum up there. Hyperliquid has been getting a lot of DEX volume because of the nature of their perpetuals trading that you could do on chain and the other opportunities that they have with their whatever they have a type of EVM kind of similar to Ethereum. Got Sui, Avalanche, Aptos, Tron, Polygon, Sonic, Op Mainnet, Optimism, Pulse Chain, all things that we could pay attention to and have a token. They have a token, but then there's also the highest volume tokens that are operating on those chains. So you think Pulse Chain, then you go to PulseX, go to Pulse Chain, and then you'll see that PulseX has pretty decent spot volume on the 24-hour, and also TVL is getting up there too, 186 million. And this, I can kind of go down the chain. Okay, I'll hedge into Pulse Chain and then think about getting a little bit of PulseX. Then you can go into, went too far. You go into Ethereum, and then you can look at the top protocols, and you can see which ones have the highest TVL locked. You got Lido DAO, you got Aave, Engine Layer. I've been seeing a lot of on Engine Layer recently. Engine Layer seems like this is a restaking platform. If you notice, talk about restaking or staking, the World Liberty Financial Wallet, if you notice what they're doing, they staked all of their ETH. the only raw ETH that they have in their wallet is $57,000 worth. They have 21 ETH that they left and that they didn't stake. They literally staked 80%, 90% of their ETH, and you can see it here. They have the I think this is the Aave ETH wrapped staked ETH, Aave wrapped staked ETH, and then you can see there is a ETH wrapped ETH right here. So this is the play here. So they're playing the long game with Ethereum. And then you can see the other altcoins that they are holding a big balance of. Over $1 million is EOS, surprisingly. So they have EOS at 1.9 million. They have Mantle at 3 million. They have White, which is White Rock. It's this it's like a, I don't know, it's like a, I don't know if it's like a protocol that is a part of BlackRock that is on the Ethereum blockchain, but it's an Ethereum token. We've looked at it before. We're not too sure exactly what this is and what it's backed, but it's called White Rock. Then we have Tron. They hold $11 million of Tron. And then you can see they have a lot of stable, but they're staking this stable because it looks like they have an 8 ETH. Oh, an 8 ETH USDT. Okay, yeah, that's a different type of stable that they're probably also staking as well. So they're trying to generate some high yield with this wallet. So yeah, we like to do this. We like to do this to check on what's going on, and just these could be the chains to pay attention to. But really, obviously, the name of the game right now is stables. You know, who's going to be the chain that holds the most stable coin and has the highest value of stables and being minted. So right now we're seeing, let's just mention the ones that are above 500 million. So we have Optimism, Stellar, Near, Ton, Sui, Sui. No, Sui's above $1 million. So we're above $1 billion. We're gonna go until we get to from between 500 to under $1 billion. That leaves Optimism, Stellar, Near Protocol, Ton, Sui. We get to $1 billion. We get Sui, Aptos, Avalanche, Polygon. We start getting to $3 billion. Arbitrum, Hyperliquid in the $3 billion. We start getting the $4 billion. We got Base. Headband High, I'm here for a Dano crash out. I'm not crashing out. I did go long last night like a schlup. I'm not crashing out. Headband. I don't think I have any more energy to crash out anymore. It's left me. I don't think I have any more energy to crash out. I'd rather save the energy to work out. All right, so base chain, $4 billion. But look, we said Binance Smart Chain's got $10 billion in stables. Solana is above Binance Smart Chain. That's what's just fascinating. We have Solana crushing it on the stables. I know, I always long. I think I might have a problem. I mean, I think if I do it enough times, I think I might catch it eventually, which I have, but at least I'm not like using all of my funds and just like blowing up my entire account. I'm just using very small portions so it doesn't hurt so bad. Because the potential, if I, really catch it, it's huge. Listen to me. I sound like a classic gambler who has a problem. I sound like a classic gambler. If I just keep hitting it, if I just keep trying. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Sound like someone who has a serious problem. But you guys are probably in that same boat. You're like, dude, what am I? Like, do I have a problem? Do I have a mental issue? Anyone who's in crypto right now, you've got to be insane. You are a special type of person. Not me, not you, but who? No, it's that's not retarded. You said it's retardio? Oh my gosh. Well, you guys are obviously not following what's happening with the stock market when it comes to the companies that are getting involved in doing all the stablecoin minting and actually having this this TradFi DeFi blend. It's going to be things like Chainlink. It's going to be these protocols that has the most TVL locked. These are the ones that are probably going to get the most growth. Where's the big money? It's a good guess. Doesn't mean I think I'm 100% right. I mean, I think it's fair to say the chain that's going to be used the most, and then you look on what chain is being used the most in terms of the volume, and then you look at the DEX volume. What's the most popular high traded coin that doesn't have a very manipulated supply? You could maybe hedge your bet in that. But everyone has a different strategy. I like to think that a good strategy would be, what is the highest profitable protocol on these chains? Like if you go to Hyperliquid and then you just look, okay, Hyperliquid, and then you have Hyperlind, Morpho, Hyperbeat. Look and see if maybe these things have tokens. Maybe they don't have a token yet, but they might do an airdrop, which is the situation with Jupiter. You know, if you use Jupiter enough, you got, and we're active on the chain, then you got a Jupiter airdrop. Yeah, and so for Tron, you can do the same thing. You can look at the protocols. Hey, call me crazy, but I know that sounds so simple and easy, but it could actually be that easy. We want to make it complicated, but we're ignoring stable coins because we're thinking that like it's stable coins. It's not. Well, let's see what happens. Everyone thinks that they're right. Everyone thinks that they know what's going to happen, and no one knows what's going to happen. That's what's so annoying. Even even everyone watching right now, if you think you know what's happening or you know what's going to happen, stop it. Because I, at the end of the day, I will run my mouth, but then I'll tell you honestly, no one knows. You don't know what's going to happen, but we have to hedge our bets. We're all risking. Got to risk something. We don't know what the hell's going to happen, but we do our best. You got to still at least just have skin in the game. We could have alt season, from after all this, chaos summer into the rest of the year, or not at all. And then it picks up next year. And then we get the alt season that everyone's been talking about Q2 next year. Anything's on the table. Headband makes a good point though. He said, but everyone knows that ticker Bitcoin is going to retire our families. I mean, that would be great. That is definitely the one that we're it's our favorite coin. It's the one that has made us laugh the most. It's anytime we've ever mentioned it to anyone, I show them my shirt, or I show them they're asking like, what is that? Like, I love that shirt. And I tell them what it is. I say it's Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu, and then they go, excuse me, can you say? They laugh. They say, excuse me, can you say that again? And I say Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu, and then they laugh even more, and then I say, but the ticker is Bitcoin, and then they do like a breakdance 360 move, backflip eating a chicken nugget, and then the rest is history. But yeah, no, that's why we love talking about this coin. It's just funny. It's just funny, and it's got one of those charts that is just a classic crypto chart of a multi-cycle coin. It's just got some dirt on it. It's scuffed up a little bit. It's been able to be the prom king a few times. Put on a suit. It was led into the party for a little bit. We'll see if it gets invited back. We'll see if it gets invited back. Nothing's guaranteed, but you know what? We got to believe in something. I mean, look how hard Morad is shilling SPX 6900. No one works for the bag more and as hard as Morad for SPX 6900. Let's all just accept that as a fact. But if you think about, Headband's right. I mean, if you want to have an entry in something, why would you buy low at these points where it's the lowest? It's like a mega entry. Anything you're getting an entry like this, it's for anything. You're taking a gamble. Most people are buying the tops of these alts. Like I've done it millions of times, where we get convinced on the hype and we end up buying the tops of these big alts. And then it goes down 30%, 40% when things are bad. And then when we have an opportunity to buy at these points right here on something as funny as ticker Bitcoin, and we don't, and this is the test of conviction. And this is for anything. I'm just using ticker Bitcoin as an example, but it could be any coin. Can you buy it at the low points? Can you buy it when it's the worst to buy? Bitcoin has been the most successful at people DCAing when it was the worst to buy. When people were like, it's over. They were spitting in your face saying, it's over. Like Sandlot style, forever. It's over. And then just spit everywhere. You had to buy during those times. Marcin said, what do you mean bloody next year? No, I mean it. I'm kind of with Virtual Bacon. Virtual Bacon is one that has been saying, I think we're going to have a bigger run actually extending into quarter one or quarter two of next year, which I think is pretty valid because it would give time for, if they are going to print more money and they're lowering the interest rates, well, then that means they're going to put it somewhere. I mean, they're not going to let it sit because then they know that inflated cash, I mean, it just has no value besides it going into the stock market and going into crypto. And oddly enough, I've been watching these videos with my wife on YouTube about the real estate market and how certain points of the country are seeing the highest influx of inventory of houses that are for sale than they've ever seen, like major spikes. And also the cap rate of the percentage of what these people were making has significantly decreased. So before, where they were getting like a 5%, 10%, 12% cap rate, now they're getting like a 2%, and that's not enough to sustain the business. So real estate's going down. Everything's going down. And then in terms of that, then we got then they're printing money.
They're lowering the interest rates. Then it lags into the interest rates that people get to borrow money to actually buy a house. Same with investor properties and investment firms that are buying up properties. And what happened during COVID and that time was that there was zero interest rate. And they bought up the properties because it was at a crash, and then they were able to buy it low. So could they be doing the same thing in the rinse and repeat playbook here of then the housing market goes down, they print more money, the interest rates level into where they can can scoop up the real estate potentially. I'm wondering how that's ultimately going to affect the entire landscape of how any type of investment is going to look in the next 4 to 5 years, whether it be real estate, crypto, heavy metals, stocks. Well, in terms of what happens in the crisis, after every crisis, we have a pump. After every crisis, we have the low, and then afterwards it goes. We know this to be true from historical data of looking how that the S&P 500 has reacted to previous, events, whether they be black swans or things that were leading up to us knowing it was going to happen. Represented in the S&P 500, if you look at the weekly, you can see it, or look at the monthly. Every time we've had a crash, whatever it may be with COVID, we've had a recovery. Exchange capitulations, recovery. 2008 financial crash. Look how much it went down. 57%. Then eventually, the year after, and then just continued to boom. From 2008 up into 2021 has just been haven't seen that big of a crash. We've got 33% there. We've got 19% there. Nothing like this where it was like 57%, 56% S&P. Still on this TikTok stream. I'm gonna end this TikTok stream. 31 views. Okay. Yeah, headband high. I love crypto, and yes, I'm crazy. Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. It's like we go through these motions, we go through the emotions, the waves, the ups and downs, the, what am I doing with my life feelings, I just won, and you feel euphoric. Like in crypto, there's no place that you could be where you could, in just a span of hours, feel euphoric and bullish, and then hours later feel like you're like gonna die. It's like, it's very stressful, and it causes gray hairs. And it's not an easy game to be in. If it was so easy for everyone to be in investments or try and trade or whatever it may be, everyone would do it, right? That's always the classic saying. If it was that easy, that everyone would do it. So we're choosing to do something that causes high stress, that does have a high risk, high reward ratio if you can stick with it and learn how to just survive and thrive through the ups and downs, and hopefully get positioned to where we can reap the benefits and the rewards from freaking feeling like this. That's what I want for everyone, is that if you've been beat down and you've been feeling this and you've been like, oh, this needs to happen for me. You just got to survive. It will. I think it will. It just shows that it's not going to come without a little bit of a price, and we will hopefully be rewarded for the damage that has been caused by us trying to be in crypto. Holy moly. You know, that's how I think about Bitcoin holders. I think about true OG Bitcoin holders had to endure a lot of pain. 100%. I give credit to the OG Bitcoiners that were able to hold through like all of the just craziness. Not easy at all. Not easy at all. And I bet having probably times where they could not sleep at night. But if you can endure that, I think the universe has a mechanism of being able to reward you in doing so. Could be crazy saying that, but that's kind of how I feel about it. But we appreciate everyone for coming in today. I told myself that I was just going to stream for 45 minutes. Now I've gone for an hour because I can't stop running my mouth. But you guys seem to be here still, so you don't mind. You're still here, so you don't mind. Well, I think we're having a pretty decent conversation. I think we're breaking down, I think, the overall feelings of how most people are feeling right now in crypto. You know, you're happy you're here, but you're also probably a little slightly frustrated. You're frustrated by the clear manipulation that's happening in the markets right now. You're kind of feel gaslighted a little bit. You were like, I wanted the institutions to be here, but now I don't know if I want them here because they're slimy. They do slimy shit that they've done for years in the stock market. Now they're just going to do it in crypto. So I get it. That's probably why you feel the way you feel. You're like, I feel bamboozled. Like, I feel bamboozled, man. But with all good things that eventually hit the inflection point and just kind of, you can't stop. It just keeps going. It's like the internet. You know, we as our generation and the generations before, because think about the people, born in the 80s, you were kind of coming on the first end of the internet and the digital revolution kind of coming in, soft playing it. Then going into the 90s, early 2000s, we were primed to be that generation to test it out. And if you were smart, you were intertwining and learning how to use this stuff, whether it be social media, message boards, Flash, animation, whatever it may be. MySpace, you're making your own website on MySpace. How many cups of coffee am I on? 2? I had a lot. Okay, I made a latte and I just brewed a cup of coffee, but I haven't drank this entire cup. I'm about a cup. I'm a full latte and a half cup of coffee in. I'm also trying to keep. I think I'm trying to talk a lot so I don't have a nervous breakdown. I feel like I come to you guys and I talk and you guys help me not have a nervous breakdown, because if I were just to be like kind of stewing in my thoughts right now, I would be like, I would be getting heated. I'd probably start punching my punching bag out there, but no, I need to talk it out with you guys. You're my emotional support. You guys are my emotional support. I appreciate it. But let's see what happens with old Jerome Powell today. Let's see if I love this figure to change to 99% chance they're going to cut the rate. Like all of a sudden, like an hour before, the percentage chance just switches over to 99%. And just everyone just freaks out. We were talking about the S&P 500, but we want to talk about SPX 6900 because they got a major listing recently. It was on Binance. Yeah, Binance just listed. I got a notification. Binance. Jeez, can I even spell? Binance. Was it Binance US that posted it? I think it was Binance US. And by the way, if you live in the United States and you used to use Binance US, USD is back. So now you can have USD cash support. So you can hold cash, you can hold USD, you can off-ramp and on-ramp USD into your account. So that's good. It's good to have multiple options of ways to be able to off-ramp, on-ramp, whether it be through an exchange like this, or you could use something like MoonPay. You could use something, I think there's all kinds of mechanisms now that you can do off-ramping. But MoonPay actually has been really hitting the game strong with their app. They have a lot of access to all of these applications and dApps that are inside the app, and I think they're going to be one of the normie picks for an application that's going to be downloaded, because it's been kind of one of the easiest ones for me to be able to buy crypto. Even back in 2021, me and my wife, when we were just buying little pieces of crypto, MoonPay was always the easiest one to get access to. So shout out to MoonPay. Shout out to MoonPay. But yeah, where was it? Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, they did Fartcoin deposits were live, and also SPX 6900 deposits. You can see the trading on the SPX pair will begin on June 19th. So not just yet. So tomorrow. So pretty soon. I mean, it's inevitable now. I mean, come on. The ticker is going to get listed on Binance. It's just coming. It's coming. Let's look at what the ticker's listed on already. Let's type in Bitcoin. You know what's funny is that when you type in Bitcoin, this is why I like this coin. It plays on two really strong narratives. ETH going to 10K. It's one of the top high liquidity memes, OG memes, multi-cycle coins that's on Ethereum. The ticker's Bitcoin. And so when people type in Bitcoin, they're going to say, well, everyone's been telling me to buy Bitcoin and I bought it. What's the problem? And they go, you bought the wrong one. And they're going to say, are you sure? Because my wallet says otherwise. And then that's when they show you the wallet and it's up like 1,000%. Ticker's Bitcoin's $10. And you're like, see, I told you I bought it. Yeah. So it's going to be mass confusion to the most hilarious extent. That's why I like the ticker Bitcoin. All right. Centralized exchanges. It's listed on Bybit, which is the second largest exchange in the world. It's on BitGet, MEXC, Gate, you know, all these. KuCoin, Kraken, LBank, blah, 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 blah. It's on OURBIT. Shout out to OURBIT. Right there. But Binance is just around the corner. And if the team is smart, they probably already have a deal in the works. They're waiting patiently. We'll see what happens. I think if SPX 6900 can do what it's doing, Mambo? I don't. What is? I'm not familiar with Mambo. Oh, for Lambo. Okay, I get it. Mambo the gorilla. I have not heard of this. Okay, so it's fairly new. I have no clue about this. I don't know anything about this. I've never even heard you mention it, Headband. Did you just discover this? Like I said, I've been very simple. I keep it simple. I'm trying not to get distracted by, any coin that's like literally a couple. I know the chart's actually not bad. It's actually, when I was just looking at the chart, it's pretty decent. Let's go back. We'll give it a chance. Hold on. We'll look at the 4-hour chart. All right, so it's got a decent trade run up. You know, it's not like a violent whoosh straight up and then straight down. Nice test. But it's only, I mean, it's very, very new. So, I mean, you never know what can happen with something like this, especially if it's under $2 million market cap. If it's like above $1 million market cap, hey, it could get to 10 million. This thing could get to 100 million. You just never know. But you just never know. It could go all the way back down to zero. It could do this. It could do that. It could do this. It could do this. I mean, you just never know. It's a massive gamble, especially with the memes. But why we like looking at coins, meme coins that have already been out for a year, 2 years, there is a reason for this. And people say, oh, you're buying old coins. Here's blah, 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 blah. You got to buy the new stuff so then you can get the 1000X. You know, you got to get in early, bro. But I like looking at something like ticker Bitcoin because I can see on the chart where I can get in early, and I know at spots where I should probably take profits. It's right here in the chart. I mean, here's the spots where I probably should take profits if I'm buying at the absolute low. Right here at like 19 cents, that would probably be a great place to take a little off the table. At 25 cents is probably a nice spot. 37 cents, that's probably a nice spot to sell a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to sell the whole thing, but if you're accumulating at these bottoms, I'm sure at the point where it gets to here and tests these, it's tested a million times, and it's all based on ETH. Every time the coin has done this, just look at ETH's price. If you look what has happened, the reason why it's down like this, and this is every meme coin, is because of ETH. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You want to know the true alpha? We still need ETH. There's your alpha. Everyone's always wondering what the alpha is. That's the alpha. We need ETH, and we've always needed it. Finally, it moved. Now we're getting some traction. I'm not crazy for saying that. So, what do you think is the probability of a September? I'm curious because we got some people in here. What do you think the probability is of a rate cut happening next month? Like, we're not going to have one today. But if we had one in July or September, what do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to still keep the rates the same in the next meeting? Or are they targeted to do it in September? What do you guys think? You think it's going to happen the next meeting, or is it going to happen in September? I have this feeling it's going to happen in September. I'm more on the side that they're going to still push. They're going to keep pushing it, and they're going to wait till September. And then October, November, and December, then we'll have that. Then we'll have the tear up. We'll have a melt up, is what you would call it, a melt up. The Nerd Robot says no rate cuts until recession. What do you guys think? What do you think? Laser says probably as long as possible. Yeah, that's what Jerome Powell, like when I watch him talk and how he speaks, he's like, I'm going to extend this thing out as long as I can. It seems like the Fed has a completely different agenda than what the actual government has. We guys got to remember, the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve Bank, they are not part of the government. They're completely separate. We just use them as the bank to provide us our money so then we can do the thing. But they're not actually part of the government. So why do you think it's almost like church and state, you know, it's like it's like it's separated. It's the Fed and the government, they have completely different agendas, I think. So this is why there's this backlash. And I feel like how Jerome is trying to like hold his position strong and not get swayed by the Trump administration. That's my guess, is why they haven't cut the rates, why it's been such a dragged on process, because they have a completely different agenda. There's something that they want to accomplish that requires them to hold their position. Oh, all right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna end the live stream. I think we had a pretty decent live stream. I feel like we had some new people in here. Yeah, Fed's agenda, BlackRock agenda. There's a lot of agendas going on, and I think a lot of them are very conflicting. I think that's probably why it's been feeling maybe a little chaotic, is that there's probably a lot of conflicting agendas that are trying to be accomplished at the same time, whether you think they're nefarious or evil or for the good of the people, or it's for the good of whoever's trying to accomplish the goal. It's just for their own agenda. So then they are protected. But I would imagine that's why it probably seems so chaotic sometimes, is that there's all these agendas. And of course, if you're trying to control something in the agenda, you're going to be going for it. So this is what's happening. We're just in the middle of everyone's agendas trying to be accomplished, and we're getting shaken up all in between it. So I think it's probably good rule of thumb here to just take a breath, relax, zoom out. Just got to zoom out. Yeah, Emmanuel said, wasn't the U.S. going to start buying as part of the strategic reserve? Didn't the U.S. also say that they will not default on their debt? Yeah, there's a lot of things that they say and that they don't end up doing because there's some type of other thing that they're trying to potentially accomplish. I don't know. There is also the theory that all of this, like the Trump administration, is like the kind of like a Trojan horse for the massive, New World Order, the one world government, AI controlled one world government, because it's just too much conflict. Trump could be thinking that he's doing something right and be getting 12D chess moved by the deep state to then usher in the total world control. That's also something I've thought about too. I've been like, wow, this whole thing could be completely staged, in a fact that even Trump thinks he's doing something that is good, but then he's also getting bamboozled and smoke screened. That could be also something as well. I don't know. You could go down the rabbit hole of what your theories are, but hopefully with all of this, we can just retire our bloodlines, retire our families, and we can position ourselves to have enough wealth to where whatever's happening in the world, we can take care of the people around us, take care of our families, and hopefully, have the means and the resources to live a good life no matter what, because that's the whole point. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks for coming in. Hope you had a good day. I hope you have and continue to have a good day. And we appreciate any of the new people that are coming in for today's live stream. We really appreciate it. It seemed like we had an extra amount of viewers today, which is great. We always love the nice pops. We always have our normal suspects in here. We got Lasers, we got Emmanuel, we got Headband. The nerd Robert's been coming in now on a daily basis. We appreciate you. We also got not me, not you, but who? Well, it's all of us. All right, so who else we want to give a shout out to? Who was in here today? We got Shipman in here today. Don Cabrera. So shout out to all you guys. Make yourselves known in the chat, and I'll give you a shout out. and consider joining the Dojo crew by becoming a member of the channel. You can buy a membership for less than a coffee, and you can post up some amazing emojis. And the more members that we get, we can actually add more emojis and we can update them. So help me to get more emojis that we can add in there. And you also get a nice little cheeky Pepe. If you look at Shibman's profile, look, see, turns green, and you get a nice little cheeky Pepe. So you'll look super cool in the chat next time you come back, which hopefully you do. I hope you guys come back. All right, well, with that being said, we will see you on the next one. And let's see what happens with the rates. It's gonna be happening pretty soon here. I could continue to live stream and run my mouth, but I'm just like, I don't know. I think I'm going to go for a run. I need to go for a run and sweat and maybe do another little workout. I did a mini workout. Word of advice. If you're trying to stay consistent with your workout and you're coming to the point where you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. Even if you just walk up to the bar, whatever it is, and you just do like one set, you don't have to do 5 sets. Just do one set. You know, you'd be like, all right, I got to the bar and I picked the damn steel up. I picked it up. I did one set. You might feel a little bit better knowing that you didn't completely avoid it, but you drug your ass in there and you're like, all right, I'll do one set. I'll do one damn set. So let's continue to show up and do a set. All right, guys. Have a good day.
You're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coined. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin. Ticker is Bitcoin. Ticker is Bitcoin. Breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
Ticker is Bitcoin. Ticker is Bitcoin. Ticker is Bitcoin. Breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.